Hey everybody, I'm Alex. Welcome to today's Kids Craft Project. Today we're going to be making super fun little robots out of just random stuff I found around my house. The idea behind this project is that it's something that anybody could do just with the stuff that they have on hand. That said, I personally just happen to have a glue gun in my house, so I used it today. The first couple robots we'll be doing, you could definitely just use tape or Elmer's glue. That would work just great. That last one might be a little bit trickier, but I think it would be a good chance to be creative and see what you can do. Just to give you an example of what we'll be using today, I rated my recycling. So I've got a tin can or two, and I also found some yogurt jars, which will be super handy. I rated my junk drawer and found stuff like a little light bulb and an old watch and a battery and some twist ties, and those will all come in handy as well. I also found some super fun buttons at the bottom of the drawer, so we'll be using those too. This should be a super fun project, and I really hope you enjoy it. Okay, for our first project, we're going to make this little guy. Just about the easiest robot you could possibly do. Let's just jump into it. Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this toilet paper roll, and as you can see, like it looks okay, but this thing would look so much better if we used a piece of paper to make a little skin for our robot. So I'm just going to take the paper, I'm just going to test it out, I'm going to wrap this around, I'm going to see how much of this I have to cut off. You see where the toilet paper roll is? I'm just going to take a pencil, I'm just going to mark the inside a little bit, and that'll give me a line to cut. Okay, there we go. I'm going to take my scissors. This doesn't have to be perfect. But let's just see how this looks. Yeah, that's going to be great. All right, so I've got everything I need. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to glue a little bit on one end. And then I could cut this thing down to exactly the right size, but you know, it almost doesn't matter for this project. Just make sure that that's lined up nice and good. All right, awesome. And then I'm just going to start rolling the paper on. Then, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this other end. This is something you could totally use Elmer's glue for, by the way. Just won't dry as quickly as if you use a glue gun. But if you do use a glue gun, definitely have an adult help you, because they do get just a little bit hot, just like the name says. All right, there we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to poke a couple holes in the side. This is another thing where you might want to have an adult help you, just so there's no pinched fingers. Awesome, one down. And then I'm going to try to get it exactly on the other side. Let me see. All right, there we go. Those are two little holes that we can put the arms into. Done. Awesome. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these to make a hand. So I'm just going to fold. Cool. And then I'm going to fold again. And then fold. And then I'm going to fold again. Awesome, and there you have a little hand. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other end and I'm just going to make a little bit of a spiral. And this way, it'll stick inside the toilet paper roll. Okay, awesome. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's sort of spirally. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to feed it through the toilet paper roll. I'm just going to twist it through. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. I can use my finger on the other end to sort of smush it in. All right, there we have one robot arm. So fun. All right, now we're going to do the next one. I'm going to fold. I'm going to fold again, and then fold, and then fold again. There we got another 3 fingers. Awesome. And then I'm going to make a little bit of a spiral. Man, these things do not want to cooperate. All right. There we go. And there we have 2 arms. All right, the only other thing I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to make him a little face. Done and done. Couple eyebrows, good to go. Next thing I'm going to do is glue this thing on. All right. Cool. That is the very simplest, very easiest little robot. You could even draw a little bit on his belly if you wanted. You could give him some buttons or whatever. Actually, I'll do that real quick just to show you. You could do this on the piece of paper before you put it on the toilet paper roll, but it would be kind of hard to make it line up right. So I'm doing it now. All right, so now he's got an on and an off button. This third one, what should it be? Something silly. Blorp. I don't know what that means, but now he's got a blorp button. There you go. There's your first little robot. All right, you guys, what fun. Our next robot is another one that pretty much anyone of any age can do. Let's just hop right into it. Okay, for our next robot, you're going to need a tin can. And then I was lucky enough to find these little refrigerator magnets in my junk drawer that I definitely don't need again, but it's going to be so fun because we're going to be able to make a robot face on this guy that we can move around to give him different expressions. So hopping right in, I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to start drawing eyes and mouth. Or I take that back. I'm actually going to cut out some squares first. Just like that. All right, so first thing to do is draw some eyes. Okay, there we go. Now, just because I was a little sloppy, I'm gonna cut these to make them nice and even. Cool, done and done. Next, I feel like this guy needs a mouth, so I'm gonna take my piece of paper again. I'm gonna cut it just like so. Actually gonna make it just a little bit narrower. Perfect. All right, now I'm gonna draw the mouth. Okay, there we go. Next thing I'm gonna do is glue these things onto my magnets. So again, just gonna need a dollop. And again, this is another one you could totally use Elmer's glue for. So if you don't have refrigerator magnets, you could just glue these guys directly onto your tin can and it would still be super fun. But if you happen to have refrigerator magnets that you're willing to spare, I can show you how you can move the face around and make it super fun to play with. Okay, so we've got our robot's little face. And some strings of glue. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this guy some arms. I'm going to use a couple twist ties for it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another hand. So I'm going to fold and then fold again. Like that. And then I'm going to fold a third time. And cool, there's a little hand. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this other end and I'm going to give like a nice flat long surface that we can attach glue to. So I'm just folding over and over again. I'm going to keep going until I feel like it's about right. And yeah, that should just about do it. All right, and then I'm going to do another hand. Just going to fold, fold, and fold. There we go. Does that look about even? Close enough. I'm going to make another flat surface so that I have something I can attach a bunch of glue to keep this thing on my tin can. All right, just gonna make sure these are about even, pretty much. Yeah, there we go. Next thing I'm gonna do is attach these to my can. All right, arm one. And arm two. Okay, there's our little robot body. Okay, all that's left is to attach this robot's face. There's his little mouth. There's little eyes. And there you go. And the fun thing about this one, if you happen to have refrigerator magnets, is that you can change his little facial expressions. Here he is happy. Or sad. Or spun around and around so much that he's dizzy and feeling a little bit barfy. Hey, so cool. Done and done. Okay, our third project is going to be a little bit tougher. I'm just going to show you what this guy looks like. He definitely requires a glue gun, so he's one that you want to have an adult handy to help you with. But, you know, it's not that tough, and I think it's going to be fun to do. Let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, for this next project, I'm going to use some bits of recycling, like this tin can, and also this yogurt jar, but I'm also going to use things that I found in my junk drawer, like this light bulb and some twist ties and some buttons and this screw. And I also have some little pom-poms. You could always use just a scrunched up piece of paper instead. And I'm also using this pipe cleaner. So let's just jump right in. For this next project, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to use some buttons to make some eyes. And I'll be using my trusty glue gun for this. I found it works best if you have multiple buttons to layer like this. But if you don't, no big deal. You could just find something around the house or be creative in any way you can or use paper. It's all good. So I'm just going to be very careful and apply some glue. Just stick it right on. And I'm going to do the same for this other one. Perfect. All right, and next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these eyes to this little yogurt jar, which is going to be super adorable. Cool, there we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the mouth, which I have already made to save a little bit of time here. It's going to go just like that. Cool, there we go. There's our little face. Super cute. All right, now that we've got our little face, I think the next thing to do is give this guy some brains. For that, I'm going to use stuff from my junk drawer, like the watch and the light bulb and the battery and these little twist ties, and I'm just going to put them right in. So this part is just so super simple. I'm just going to take my little robot head and I'm going to start putting stuff in his little brain, like this light bulb, which I'm being super careful with because it is, after all, made out of glass. And then this battery, so he has a little bit of power. And also this watch, so he knows what time it is. And then these twist ties, which are kind of like wires. Just spacing them out a little bit. Awesome. All right, and then I'm going to put this little bit of construction something or other that I don't really know what it is. I think might be a wall anchor, but I'm not that kind of guy. And I'm also going to add the screw, because I love our little robot friend, but he's definitely got a screw loose. Boom, there we go. Very next thing to do is to glue all of this onto his little body, which is going to be this tin can. So I've got my can, and I've got my little head, and I'm going to very carefully use my glue gun. This is definitely something you could use tape on if you needed to. You just want to use a lot of it so nothing falls off. Okay, there we go. Gluing, gluing, gluing. Perfect. And then I'm going to keep this like it is. I'm going to take my can. I'm going to stick it right on top. Just like so. Beautiful thing about a glue gun is it is already pretty darn well attached. There you go. Okay, now we have our little robot friend. Look how fun that is. Super amazing. I think he needs some arms though, so let's go ahead and add those. I'll be using silverware for that, so let's go ahead and get started. Just gonna bend you down so you can see. So our little robot, these will be his little arms. Cute. All right, I'm gonna take my glue gun. I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna add a whole bunch of glue. You could always try this with Elmer's glue. You might have better luck with tape though. Just gonna go ahead and press and hold it for a sec. And there we go. All right, and then another arm. Nice big dollop. And yeah, there he is. 2 arms. I think this guy needs some wheels or some legs, though. What do you think? Wheels or legs? I'm going to say wheels. Let's try some wheels. All right, for this part, I'm just going to take my pen and these 2 bits of cardboard that I found, and I'm just going to start drawing. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. All right, as you can see, they don't exactly match, but that is so not the end of the world. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to take my pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut these guys out. All right, so there's one. Now I'm going to do the other. Okay, cool. Very next thing is to just glue these guys on. All right, so I've got these. I've got my glue gun. I'm just gonna figure out where I want these to go on my robot. I think like this. Yeah, looks good to me. Go ahead. I'm just gonna add a big old dollop of glue. Again, this would be a great time to get an adult to help you. All right, one down, then the other. Just gonna turn this around so I can see it, make sure it looks okay. Yeah, I'd say this guy's finished. Let's take a look. How fun is that? So cool. I say, let's give him a control panel. Let's give him a little something on his belly. I think that'd be pretty fun. All right, so I've got my pen and I've got a little piece of paper. And I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a little control panel for him right at the top. So I'm just gonna start drawing. Like so. All right, inside this control panel, I think he needs a little bar graph that'll tell you what's going on inside. So I'm just gonna make another little square like this. And then I'm gonna make some fake readings for him. I'm gonna make a tall bar, and then a shorter one, and then an even shorter one, and then a really little one, like that. Okay, done. Next thing I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna give him a little status panel. I'm just gonna make another little square. And then I'm gonna make some little squiggles and we're gonna pretend that those are like words and stuff. Okay, starting to come together. Next, I think I'm gonna give him some buttons. What do the buttons do? I sure don't know. I don't know that it even really matters much. You could make something up. All right, cool. That part's done. Now I'm gonna make some big buttons. I'm gonna draw a little black square in the middle to make it look super cool. This one's gonna be on. Done. And then I'm gonna make an off button. Cool. And then I'm gonna make a third one. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. Done. I think this one's gonna be, uh-oh, destroy all humans. But we won't ever use that one though, because that would be awful. All right, cool. Next thing I'm gonna do is glue this thing on. I'm just gonna use a couple little dollops. And cool, there we go. Here's our robot friend. You can watch me put this thing on his belly. So this part is super simple. I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner and I'm going to fold it in thirds. Sort of like this. And then I'm going to start twisting the top a little bit. Just a little bit. Cool. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pom-pom and then I'm just going to kind of smush it into the pipe cleaner. Then I'm going to twist some more. right, and then I'm going to add my other pom-pom. Give it a little pinch. Just a tiny bit of a twist. And then I'm going to twist some more. And I'm just going to kind of twist this around till it looks about right. This sort of thing is never going to be 100% perfect. All right, there we go. Super silly. All right, and then I'm just going to make a spiral down at the end. I'm going to do my best to make sure that there are no pokey parts. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to twist around and around and around. Cool, and now I've got like a nice flat base that I can use to glue onto our robot friend, who we have right here. All right. It's gonna give him a little dollop of glue right on top of his head. It's a little bit hot. And then I'm gonna stick the antenna on. Boing. There we have it, the world's silliest robot. Too cool. All right, everyone, those were our robots. Just gonna run through what we made today. Here's Robot 3, super fun. And Robot 2, he's all happy now. Oh wait, except now he's sad. Except now he's happy again. Fun, fun. And then, gotta love Robot 1 with the blow up button. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope we see you soon, and thank you for watching AADL.